All right, so we were just listening to Dr. De La Cruz there qualifying himself. They are taking a lunch break right now. And of course, we're talking about Henry Segura's trial. He's the man accused of killing his girlfriend, Brandy Peters, her two twin 6-year-old girls, and his son with Brandy, a 3-year-old boy. His first trial in August of 2017 ended in a hung jury. Today, we've had a lot of big moments in the courtroom, including testimony from one of the gang members that allegedly hired the hit. That was Santos. We will hear from him in a little bit. Right now, let me introduce my guests. Right now, we have Julie Rendelman with us, law and crime legal analyst, as well as Jodi Morales, criminal defense attorney. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Jodi, you had said this off the cuff while we were listening to the doctor. What do you think they were thinking by having him here? Would you use someone like this on the stand?
I definitely would not. I mean, in the questions the prosecutor was asking him during the qualification piece of this, it seemed like every single answer was, no, I have not done the research, or I only know this limited amount of information based on talking to my cousin, for example. I mean, he may have some expertise in gang rituals and things like that, but I wouldn't put him on the stand. I don't think that he's someone the jury is going to really care to hear from.
And on the other side of that, Julie, why do you think someone like this could be helpful? He does say that he used to be in a gang himself. He talked to a lot of these guys that were afraid to talk to law enforcement. They would come to him first. So maybe he will have that other insight that will get us into the minds of some of these drug or gang involved type of guys.
Well, keep in mind that when we're talking about this case, we're talking about the defense proving the prosecution proving it beyond a reasonable doubt, and so any reasonable doubt is enough for the defense. And so when you bring in this guy who knows the ins and outs that no one in that courtroom is going to know other than him, when he starts talking about the fact that this even looks anything like some type of gang-related violence, it's going to be wonderful for the defense with regards to their client.
All right, so again, we have been listening to James Carlos Santos right now. Here he's saying that he's telling the truth now because he wants this street cred. He wants people in prison to know that he did this because he's got to survive on his own there. And this is going to give him a little bit of bolstering his support there. Let's talk about this. We have our guests right now, Julie and Jodi. Biggest question for me that I got to ask you guys. Do you believe anything that James Carlos Santos is saying? Is he credible here, Jodi?
I think he is. I mean, he just said, I'm on an active yard. And what that means is that people on his, in the yard and on his cell block are going to carry out certain things, if you get my drift. If he doesn't explain what his role was. He indicated that, his associates believed that he brought her in, and, if they thought that he and her were in cahoots in terms of stealing this money, he's in a lot of danger.
Julie, do you agree? You're shaking your head.
I'm not sure how that helps the defense, because his position is basically, the reason I'm saying that I was involved is because I'm trying to protect myself from being accused of the same thing she did. And so that actually draws some questions of credibility for him. With that said, remember though, this is a case where before he even was testifying, it was like 8-4 to acquit on the first trial. So now you have jurors having just a little more reason to doubt that the defendant is the person who committed this crime. So that might, even if they don't believe him, but just to believe him a little bit, that might just be enough.
Well, if he isn't telling the truth, or if all of his stories here are not consistent, and maybe he is fabricating some of this, why would he even bother to take the stand here? Because he's not getting immunity for his testimony. He's testifying for the defense. The state doesn't really care. Why would he do this?
I mean, I think, again, it's because he's indicated that there's enough of a feeling in the prison that he's at that he has to do this. I don't know that he's necessarily doing this to help the defense or, to help the prosecution in any way. I think he's motivated by his own survival.
Julie, agree there too?
Yeah, I agree. And then the question becomes, is his own survival and the reason he's doing this make what he's saying credible to a jury? I'm not so sure, although I do think that the facts and the crime scene itself indicate more than just one man committing a crime. It does look more like a gang-related violent act.
All right, thank you guys. We're gonna have to take a break right now. When we come back, we'll continue to cover our live trials today. Stay with us.